So Dana White tells us that he's no longer in the Cris Cyborg business. This is the battle camp. Please hit the subscribe button. You'll find it in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. It wasn't a surprise, really, was it? It wasn't a shock, was it? I mean, Cris Cyborg and Dana White, stroke the UFC, seem to have been at odds ever since she signed with the UFC in 2016, was it? What's that, 3 years ago? Like, it's almost like she's Stone Cold Steve Austin and Dana White is Vince McMahon. Except she's not really, is she? She's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. She's more of a fucking badass Billy Gunn, you know? She's more of a Val Venus, hello ladies. She's more of a D'Lo Brown. You're looking at the real deal now. Like, that's the caliber of asset I'd say she is to the UFC. Yes, having her on their roster legitimizes, I suppose, their female roster, not even a single division. Just having her there legitimizes their female roster in total. You can't have a female roster and call any of your female fighters a pound for pound best fighter in the world when Cyborg was around, just not fighting in your organization. It just wasn't possible. But the way it's ended, I don't really know how to react to this, really, because the way the relationship between them two seems to have ended, I just feel like Cyborg's team did a really, really, really bad job of trying to renegotiate her next contract with the UFC. Look, a lot of these discrepancies that she's had, a lot of these issues she's had with the UFC, I genuinely think that she's got a point. She's got a valid argument. She's got a valid standpoint in the things that she's argued with the organization about. But I think with this round of, I mean, it's not even a round of negotiations. In the most recent history, in terms of the way she's conducted herself, and I use that term, she's conducted herself, very loosely, because I don't think it's her running her social media. But the way that she's been portrayed on her own social media platforms, I don't think she's done herself any favors, not flavors. I don't think she's done herself any favors. What I mean by this is she put a post, and I think it might still be her pinned tweet, about how Dana White basically mentioned she looked like Wanderlei Silva, and how Joe Rogan was talking to Tony Hinchcliffe on a podcast and said that if Cyborg wanted to make weight, she should cut her dick off, something along those lines. And the whole premise of that tweet was she believes as a woman she should be treated fairly and she should be treated in a just manner as a female on the UFC roster. Now, that is a sentiment that I 100% agree with. As a female, she should be treated fairly and she shouldn't be sexually discriminated against. I think those were her words. I should really just pull the tweet up, but I won't bother because I'm fucking lazy. But yeah, you guys get the idea of what she was trying to say. I just feel like that was the wrong way to go about it. The Joe Rogan clip and also the Dana White clip, that was from years ago. And I just felt like she kind of turned to those two issues very, very much so when it suited her, basically. It wasn't a drum she was beating throughout her tenure at the UFC. It was just something that she would turn to when the UFC weren't behaving how she wanted them to behave, or from a business standpoint they weren't doing what she wanted them to do, or she felt like she was being under promoted. I think when those things happened, she turned to this: Dana White, call me Wanderlei Silva in a dress. Joe Rogan said that I got a dick. And I feel like if you're going to be one of these social justice type people, if you're going to put your neck on the line, you got to do it the whole way through. You can't just turn to it when it comes to a negotiation, when it comes to trying to gather public opinion in your favor to help you get to where you want to be in your career. It don't work like that for me. And I feel like as MMA fans, I feel like the majority of us, that the people that actually follow MMA on a day-to-day basis and have been for years and understand the nuances and differences in the nuances of in opinions, and we understand how we've seen how people have conducted themselves over a period of years, not just through one tweet or one action or one conversation. I feel like we're quite an intelligent bunch. And I don't know about you guys, but the way she was portrayed on her social medias, I just felt like, to me, two things. One, this isn't a way of gathering my support, really, because, like I said previously, it just felt like it was too convenient that she's bringing it up again now. And it wasn't something that she was banging on about the whole period in which she was fighting for the UFC. That kind of irked me a little bit. And the other thing that really kind of annoyed me is there's been times where she's spoken about, if you're not going to let me fight, release me from my contract. Well, here's your opportunity. You fought out your contract. If you're not happy, if you feel like you're being exploited, if you feel like you're getting kind of, I don't know what the right word is for this, but sexually, if you feel like what's the right word? Sexism, basically, isn't it? If you feel like they're being sexist towards you, you don't have a fight left on your contract. Leave. If you're not happy, leave. Like, I got a sister, and if she told me that she felt like in her workplace that she wasn't being treated fairly, etc., I'd say to her, leave. I feel like the whole from the announcement of this fight that she's just had to now, that whole period, it's got unnecessarily messy. And if her heart was genuinely in re-signing with the UFC, and she wanted to stay in the UFC, and she was just trying to get herself more money, I think she just really shot herself in the foot, because all of the stuff that she raised during this period, I just think that the UFC probably looked at it and thought to themselves, look, Amanda Nunes has just beaten Cyborg. The only fight left for Cyborg to have is Amanda Nunes, really. And if Cyborg wins that fight, she's got to stick around for a bit. Right now, we can go with this narrative that Cyborg never really wanted the fight, and Amanda Nunes is the baddest woman on the planet, and Cyborg will quickly be forgotten about. And I don't blame them for taking that route. I think Dana White being so public about saying, I'm going to release Cyborg and I'm not even going to try to match an offer that comes in for her, I'm not sure. I think that was one last kind of dig, because if offers do come in from Bellator, from ONE FC or whoever, are they going to be as high as they would have been if they thought that the UFC, if they thought the UFC had the right to match? With Dana White now saying that he's going to release Cyborg and not try to match any or counter offer any offers that come in from other parties, does that mean that any offers that do come in for are going to be lower than what they might have been? Who knows? I suppose the final point that I want to make is about Cyborg is it's been a difficult ride for her in the UFC. And like I say, she has had some genuine points. She's had some good points in terms of the arguments that she's had with the organization. But there's no excuse for having such a shitty Twitter account. And what I mean by this is, if you've got Cyborg on Twitter, it is genuinely the shittest account the world has ever seen. And it's because of this. There's always, like, every time I see a tweet from it, it's like, hey Twitter, hi Twitter, name one house chore that you really hate. Hi Twitter, name one food that you really love. Hi Twitter, name one state that you haven't been to but you'd love to go to. Hi Twitter, name one film that you loved as a child but you don't anymore. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, is Cyborg really typing that out? Like, who is it that's running this account? Like, I understand trying to engage with the fans and trying to get traction with fans and stuff like that. Oh, you should ask questions, but not like that. Not like that. And for that reason and that reason alone, she should never fight again. I'm joking, obviously. But yeah, that's my take on this whole Cyborg situation. I know I'm a couple of days late, but I've had a bit of a busy period recently with work and life and stuff. So I'm trying to catch up on stuff that I wanted to talk about. I've got this thing on my phone where I make a note, oh, I better make a video about that. I better make a video about that. And then I haven't got around to making videos over the last week or so. So I'm trying to bang them out now. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about Cyborg. Let me know what you guys think about my opinion about Cyborg. Do you think I'm being unfair? Do you think I've misremembered things? Like, I'm doing this all from memory. I'm not looking at a laptop, or I haven't got any notes or anything like that. But yeah, I'd like to know what your take. Like, when you saw Cyborg kind of tweeting and kind of campaigning for this fight with Nunes, how did it make you feel as a fan? Like, did you take her side? Did it make you want to support her more? It just turned me off a little bit. I just got tired of it, because it was just not that it was too dirty. I'm not scared of someone. It's not like I was scared of the truth or whatever. I just felt like it was just too convenient, like I said before, and I just felt like it just wasn't the right strategy for me personally. I felt like there was a million and one ways that she could have done this better. And if she genuinely did want to fight Nunes, and she genuinely wanted to stay in the UFC, that it could have been possible. But I think she kind of just boxed herself into a corner with the way that she chose to go about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to like the button. Hit the like button. Well, you can like the button, but also press it. If you've enjoyed the video, share it with a friend, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.